W tym programie wielokrotnie mówiliśmy o sztucznej inteligencji, obsłudze klienta i customer experience. Tym razem zadamy jedno podstawowe pytanie. Czy sztuczna inteligencja to być albo nie być dla każdego biznesu? Zobaczymy. Karol Bancerz, witam w kolejnym odcinku programu CC Talk. What you think about customer experience? What for you is customer experience?
Well, I like that question because actually I've been answering to that question many times in my life. And if you were going to the Wikipedia and you were looking for, what's the meaning of customer experience, you're going to probably get a more deep and profound kind of answer. But for me, customer experience is about emotions. It is about the capacity we have as people and businesses to create memorable moments, yeah? And in essence, is what a company has to do in order to connect with us as customers along the life cycle of our relationship, or if you wanna call it the journey, right? Since we as customers start to think about that journey and start, trying to contact with the enterprise to the moment that that's going to end. And how the company has made us feel, how connected we are to the brand, and if they really have been able to convert us into ambassadors or fans of the brand. That's for me, customer experience.
Customer experience for me is too. Every company should provide customers with unique customer experience. Do you true or not?
Well, I do agree, because think about this. If I want to have a coffee, or if I want to buy a mobile phone, or if I want to buy a pair of running shoes, right? I have lots of options. The offer is huge, it's massive. And in that process, you can go to your local area and maybe your local shop to get all those things, or you can go to a big department store, or you can go to the internet. So the variety of choices that we have is huge. And we as humans, and because we are emotions, right, we don't buy based on the offer that we have around us. We buy also based on the emotions and how things make us feel. So you were asking me, unique, do we have to create unique customer experiences? Well, I guess you have to, because how are you going to differentiate yourself from the competition if we're not able to create that kind of unique experiences? Any kind of company that is thinking about being customer-centric has to take that very seriously, because it's not an easy task. It's one of those things that they have to think about you and maybe always in the center of the strategy, of the people, the processes, the technology. Everything has to be thought from the angle of, well, we're thinking about the customer. It's not an easy task, and everybody's involved in that change. So, and I think that's the only way to, to get to that kind of connected moment and to create that kind of memorable experiences around it. And what happens if we're not doing that? What happens if we're just providing service? Can we survive as a company providing good service? Well, yes, we can. But, we're living in a world that goes very fast and furious. Yeah, and everything is changing constantly and dramatically, right? So as customers, we behave exactly like that. And we're going to move away from those companies that are not able to connect and resonate with us. So that's why unique CX is so important. And that capacity has to be, brought in the companies. Also because it pays back. Yeah. A loyal customer normally is going to invest 10 times more. So. Okay.
Let's change of customer experience focus. Does AI help the better customer experience? What help? Which one?
Artificial intelligence, yes, it does. It enables us to a new dimension. So you think about the progress in natural language processing, for example, machine learning, the capacity we have around algorithms and computation. We are now capable of doing hundreds or thousands of tasks in a very short time of window. That means that we can relieve the agents and advisors in the contact center of those meaningless kind of activities to focus them on the ones that are exceptional, and we really need the human power to do that. So artificial intelligence opens us that door and helps us to create that kind of next step into what customer experience means.
Okay, so let's check. Blended AI. What is blended AI?
Blended AI, that's a very Genesis concept, and it's the capacity to join in a single conversation the capacity of the bots together with humans, with people, with us. And it's getting the best of the two worlds, yeah? Because, you know, if you think about the bots are very good in repetitive tasks. They follow the orders, they don't complain, they don't eat, they don't go on holidays.
Yeah.
And they're really good at that, right?
Night and day.
Exactly, night and day. They don't even have a right to go on a strike. But then you have people, and we, as humans, we interpret the emotions. We are capable of being, you know, putting ourselves in the shoes of others to solve kind of common problems. We do, well, we have sense of humor. We manage the irony. Yeah. We contextualize, right? So we're very good in that piece of things, and the bots are very good in the other. So blended AI is being smart enough to mix that in a single conversation that actually is seamless, transparent, and frictionless for us as customers.
Okay.
So that's the power of it.
Yeah. We'll be talking about blended AI, and Genesis have a solution of AI. I know that you have Kate. Can you tell me something about that?
We live in times of constant change, and it doesn't matter what is the technology adoption rate we have in our companies. Artificial intelligence is here and is here to stay. So we need to start embracing it, and we need to start looking at ways where we can have artificial intelligence as an ally. At Genesis, we're passionate about people and about technology that can empower the use of artificial intelligence in order to create great customer experiences. Kate is our strategy in the field of artificial intelligence applied to customer experience. So it's going to be our ally to try to power and empower our businesses with the usage of artificial intelligence. There's three main areas where Kate can be the best of help. The first one, has to do with analyzing all the amount of data that we have in our companies and being able to detect what are the patterns that are creating meaningful experiences, connecting customers to the right agents to maximize the business outcomes. The second area where Kate is fundamentally helpful has to do with workforce optimization and how we can empower our agents and our team leads with the power of artificial intelligence to get the best version of themselves. We want to create smarter experiences for our agents by providing them with the right context, the right information and the right tools whenever they have an interaction with our customers. And it doesn't matter the channel. It can be voice, it can be chat, it can be email. But, you know, having them empowered with the right tools and the right knowledge to be able to fulfill the operations and the needs of our customers. It is also great help in terms of training and being able to flexibilize and push the kind of content we need for our agents to be the best of their beings. If we talk about team leads, artificial intelligence and Kate are going to be great game players in the sense of helping us with workforce planning and look for the flexibilities and abilities that we have in our contact centers, which we know it is a terrible and a very difficult and changing kind of environments. Last but not least, we're going to look to maximize the automatization. It's been said that for 2020, we're expecting 75% of the transactions to be solved in an automatic manner. So we will need Kate to come up with the right experiences for us and creating the meaningful stories we need for our customers to be met in their own terms, meaning that they want to be served in their channels of choice at the time of their need with the quality standards they want to deliver. We believe in the power of artificial intelligence to a point where 82% of the companies do believe already that artificial intelligence will change the way that we're connecting with our customers, creating powerful stories that will resonate with them and that will be able to serve them in the right terms.
According to CEO Insight survey, 65% of executives predict that business that don't implement big data into the process of doom to become absolute. It's true?
I think it is, yes, because if you think about it, the amount of information we have within our companies is in itself a gold mine. And until now, we were not able to use that information to a greater good. But now that we're capable of doing so, I think we have the right and the obligation to do it, because just think about the power of, well, this this is kind of example of something that happened to me. I was with a customer, and we were in a workshop trying to understand how artificial intelligence could help this customer through a new solution that is called predictive routing. So it's about enhancing and augmenting the routing based on what machine learning and artificial intelligence can do for them. The thing is, thanks to the customer data they have and thanks to the progress of machine learning, we were able to come up with a predicted model that by improving just 1 second the average handling time, this customer is going to make 80 million in savings. Oh. So that's the power of data, and that's why I think that companies that are not start to think about having a strategy on big data are going to fall behind. I'm not saying obsolete, but clearly behind the competition, which is something that any company wants, right?
Yes, of course. Modern enterprise got a huge amount of data of customer. How to use them, their data?
That's a very powerful and a very interesting question. See, 73% of the information we have in our businesses is just for nothing. What if we could start using that information for something that is, a business value and a better business outcome? When we think about how we should be using data, I think that we have several levels. At one point, we have the business and the business outcomes. I think we should be using that data and leveraging that volume of information to trying to find the patterns that are going to help us to drive agility on our business outcomes. Then, on the other hand, we can use that information to leverage how our people are going around their daily jobs. Like, for example, our agents, how good it could be if we can use that information that is currently in use to empower them for smarter experiences. So giving them the chances to have the right information at the right time on the right channel when they are contacting a customer, that's very powerful. And then you have the supervisors and the team leads, which can react in real time to detect what kind of training needs they have and being flexible about that. So I think that, we should start using the data in a different manner, but it is like being a superhero, right? That's a power that comes with a responsibility. And I think that we have to understand the responsibilities of an efficient use of that data.
Yeah. UA, General Data Protect, mean something about the data.
Yeah.
What do you think about General Data Protect for Genesis, for the customer data?
GDPR. I think that GDPR, it is the must-have to have a framework, a regulatory framework, where we can, treat our customers better. I think that in the past years, we've been living in the luxury of the free information that was shared by our customers. And I think that GDPR, what it's doing is giving the customers the chance to be forgotten. We could be talking about the privacy paradox, right? The right to be forgotten, but the wish to be, remembered. Yeah. But I think that in general terms, GDPR is providing to us as businesses an opportunity to go to the right personalization, because customer experience at the end of the day is all about personalization. And I think that's precisely what GDPR is going to put on the table. It's a fair play for businesses to start taking conscious of that need and that responsibility they have. Because if we as customers are giving away our data, it's because we've been promised that that kind of experience are going to come, that you're going to personalize the offer to me and you're going to give me something better. So I think it's the time for the companies to step up in that game and actually provide those experiences and regain that trust that customers have put on us by sharing their information.
Yeah. So GDPR is good.
I think GDPR is good, yes.
Okay. Wrócimy do naszej rozmowy po krótkiej przerwie. Okay. Large amounts of data or delivery of customer experience require perfect prepared people and an efficient contact center system. How to connect it? How analyze of data in real time?
Well, I think that probably, as every other problem, it just starts by analyzing where are you and where you want to go, right? And what's the path in between and how you're going to come up with the right action plan. We were mentioning before that the kind of environment we're in, it is very volatile, right? And it's very uncertain and requires lots of flexibility because everything is changing at a constant pace. So we think that in order to be able to be successful in those pieces being put together, there's a need for analysis. How do we do that? Well, at Genesis, we believe that anyone that is facing a CX transformation, they have to look at 4 pillars. You have to look at your strategy, your people, processes, and technology, because the combination of those 4 and the estate of those 4 is going to give you a recipe on how you're going to go on customer engagement, employee engagement, and your business optimization. So for me, the way to go about it is precisely that, is analyzing what is your current situation and where you want to go. And not just from a technology or from this kind of a strategy, people, processes perspective, but also from the people perspective. Because one thing that is very relevant, it is how we're going about change management in this kind of putting together all the pieces of the puzzle. Because organizations that are not taking seriously, for example, the organizational readiness, they can be subject to fail in that kind of program, in that kind of transformational steps. But yeah, I think that that's probably the right recipe. So analyze where you are, look at your 4 pillars, what kind of dimensions do you have in them, and what is the right plan for that, without forgetting the business value and how you're going to track the success of your business strategy. And that's not easy. See,
No,
we will see a reshaping the roles and functions because of that, and because of the aim and the goal of coming up with a successful strategy and a successful outcome within that.
Okay, so we analyze the commonly used KPI on call center, contact center, or should be analyzing customer behavior?
Well,
KPI or customer behavior?
It goes to what we were recommending, you know, at the beginning of the time today. Yeah, we were talking about being customer centric or not being customer centric. Yeah. If you're the kind of company that is looking at your KPIs from an operational perspective, you're the kind of company that probably it is taking baby steps in being customer centric. And how so? Because if you think about it, let's talk about average speed of answer or average handling time. How that's going to have an impact on the business. How's that going to have an impact on how I'm treating you as my customer? How's that going to leverage the CSAT? So if I have to choose, I'm going to choose the business outcomes. I'm going to choose, you know, putting the customer in the center of the equation. Because when I play with the average speed of answer, or the average handling time, or the transfers I'm having, because I'm looking at the FCR, for example, the first contact resolution, then I'm putting my customer in the center of my strategy. Then I'm creating memorable moments, then I'm connected with my customer because he feels empowered and he feels better treated. That's all I'm looking, it is how fast I've been able to answer a call or to answer an email.
So KPI, it's not interesting in the business, it's not important in the business on contact center?
I think it's a mean to an end. It is something we have to keep observing, but you know, at the service of the business. Because there's a triangle. If I'm asking you, do you want to improve your revenue, reduce your cost and improve your customer satisfaction? I'm telling you, you're going to say yes. Like the 100 businesses, you could be asking that question. Yeah. And that triangle, it is talking about business, it's talking about people, and it's talking about, you know, creating those kind of connections. So the operational metrics are meaningless in that context. They are relevant, they are a mean to an end, but we have to focus on the business side and on the customer side of things. Okay,
so the metrics of customer behavior, customer service, why it's important for business?
Well, it is very important because, as I was mentioning, we're in that kind of environment that we need customers, and we are in the customer immediacy kind of era. We are hyper-connected, we are 24/7, we're always asking and sharing opinions, and our desire and the choices we're making are changing based on that kind of information that is fluctuating around us. So from a business perspective, if we're not able to meet those expectations, then how customers are going to approach us? And then is the other side of things, the statistic side of things. I was mentioning before that when you have a loyal customer, they're going to buy more from you than if they are not loyal, like 10 times more. So it is, you know, in the best interest of companies to look for loyal customers, fans, ambassadors, because those are the ones that are going to give them the capacity and the chance to do better business, and at the same time to transform themselves into something greater that will allow them to manage the cost and to create those experiences that, you know, will close the loop in that triangle.
So customer centric is more important than few years ago, yeah?
It is. It is fundamental. It is a kind of key message to be launched out there. And think about yourself. You know, how you want to be treated and how important you want to be to the business. You really want to be remembered. So that's why being customer-centric is key in the strategies. Because at the end of the day, companies that are not treating us as customers will not see us as customers coming back, right?
Yeah, it's true. Very true. I takim oto akcentem kończymy dzisiejsze spotkanie. Dziękuję za uwagę, życzę spokojnego dnia i do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku.